do you want to lead this one off?
Hell no.
Okay. Welcome back, everybody, to Guber Talks. My name is Justin.
And I'm Gavin.
And I'm Bundy.
And we are back.
The champions.
And we are going to talk about... Gavin, you gotta throw that on the ground.
We're going to talk about every single bit of information that's been processed over the last 10 years.
Nope, it's the end of the decade. So we decided to have a decade episode, or at least talk about it a little bit.
We're going to talk about our favorite stuff that's happened since 2010.
Oh my god.
We're going all the way back to 2010. There's a lot of stuff that's happened. We've a lot of this happened to us in the last 10 years. We've all graduated high school, went to college, graduated college, got jobs,
got engaged, got not engaged. I'm kidding. But yeah, a lot of stuff has happened.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's been 10 years.
It's now that you say that, that is astonishing to me. Like just everything that's happened. It's pretty bonkers.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day, or a couple weeks ago when we decided originally to do this episode.
Yeah.
I was like thinking back and I'm like, yeah, it's like since 2010, like everything in my life that's been important has happened in that decade.
Yeah.
Except being born, I guess. But.
Well, that doesn't count. Well, I feel like, I don't know, I first drank in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, I don't think I drank until I was, I didn't drink before I was 16, so.
No, yeah. Well,
yeah.
No.
I think I felt like I waited longer than a lot of people.
When did you guys, like, not necessarily drink, like, you know, ooh, I'm getting drunk, but, like, just have a sip of alcohol? Do you remember first time that happened?
Yeah, it was at Mike's house. Or no, it was at Trevor's house.
Oh, God.
But yeah, that was the first time, I think.
I was thinking, because I had, like, a sip of beer when I was, like, super young.
Maybe,
like,
but
I think my uncle or something, like, gave it to me, but...
I was 18, and I got iced when I was at
in
Marshall
college?
Band.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a hell of a way to start.
Yep.
Just chug a bottle of
I don't think
liquor.
I drank all of it, but I had, like, half, because I was like, oh, the alcohol doesn't taste
It's
bad.
sweet.
Because it tastes like juice.
Well, yeah, because that's like lemonade essentially.
Yeah, and I was like, this isn't too bad.
If you don't know what icing is, it's when it's not Mike's. What is it? Smirnoff, yeah. Smirnoff Ice. They're just like single serving bottles of that.
Yep.
And someone just comes up and just slams it in front of you, and you have to sit there and chug the whole thing in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's a thing anymore. It was super big like 5 years ago.
It's a thing, and I'm gonna make it a thing at my wedding if I ever get married. I'm specifically icing all of my
bride.
And the bride
at the altar, like it's like do you take blah blah blah? It's like yes, and then just bam, ice.
I never got the point of icing people. Like I would much rather just like shake up a soda and then give it to somebody rather than just running up on somebody and just bashing on their glass bottle.
What's that called? That's not icing.
No, that's different. Icing is just handing them a bottle and making them chug
like
it.
Say you're like sitting here and Bundy, I was like, hey, can you grab my coat? And then underneath my coat is a Smirnoff Ice, and then once you get it, you got ice, so you have to chug it.
Oh,
it's like that. It's kind of like
it's not that fucking thing.
No,
I don't know what that's called.
That's just being a dick.
Yeah,
I've done that plenty of time.
Yeah,
this is fun. This is all good fun.
You do that, and it just makes the bottle explode. And
there's
no way you can drink it. So I thought that's what you meant. It was
no.
Like, okay, fuck you.
when we were in college, we went to a bar. We were at Brothers.
Yeah.
Brothers.
And I had some drinks, and I was going around doing that to people. And I got past the point where I wasn't making sense anymore, and people had just like plastic cups, and I was slamming my glass down in their cup. So it had zero effect other than splashing liquor everywhere.
Oh, God.
I think at one point I did it to a trash can, and the waitress came over, and she goes, "Are you okay?" And Bundy's like, "Yeah, he's fine, he's fine."
It's so fucking stupid.
Gavin, we gotta get you drunk.
Words. That was the night you were just drinking Heineken. You said it tasted like cat piss.
No,
yeah.
well, he didn't at that night. A mutual friend of ours ruined that for me because I used to drink Heineken all the time.
Yeah.
And one time he came over and I had Heineken. He's like, "Oh, that tastes like cat piss." I'm like, "No, it doesn't." I drank it. I'm like, "Oh no,
it tastes like cat piss."
It tastes like cat piss. So I've never had one since. It ruined it for me.
Well, what? I really think we should do a drunk episode at some point.
That's what I'm saying.
I know we keep saying.
Come over on a Friday night.
Come on a Friday. Or whenever
Tuesday.
Or whenever we do that like charity stream, that idea, we should do that.
We'll just get progressively more drunk throughout the stream.
And they don't know that.
Yeah, we don't say anything. Just by the end, people think we're
smashed.
We just start donating our own money. It's like, there's $1,000 for me.
Whee! Thank you guys so much for donating $1,005. All right. Well, how are we gonna start this? Where should we start? Oh wait, we have a quiz.
We got a quiz.
Start with a quiz.
I know we said we weren't gonna do a quiz every week, but this is a special one.
This is a good one.
This is a decade-ending quiz. We're gonna ruin 2019 with this quiz.
Oh my god.
So yeah, all the questions in this they involve the last 10 years of pop culture for the most part. And how it's gonna go. So I don't remember exactly how many questions I have, but how it's gonna go is, let's see. Justin won last week.
Yep.
So I'm gonna give you the choice if you want to go first or second, like answer first or second this time. So most of these questions you can, except for this first one, you can both score points in. So it's gonna be the total number of points at the end wins, and some of them have bonus points. You can score multiple points in the same question.
Yeah. Some of them have negative points.
Yeah,
Ooh.
if you get it wrong, you leave.
You get whipped.
So, this first question, because only one of you can score.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give Justin the chance to choose if he wants to go first or second. And it's like the other ones where I'm gonna have you both answer, and then I'll reveal whoever wins. You go second?
Yeah.
All right, Bundy, are you ready?
I'm gonna defer to Kick.
No.
Okay, so this first one involves movies over the last 10 years.
Woo!
So over the last few years, we've seen plenty of movies reach that $1 billion mark in the box office. Mm-hmm. So, whoever's closest wins. Give me the number of movies that broke $1 billion since 2010.
Oh my god.
Okay, so it's just whoever's closest.
Whoever's closest. And
Price is Right rules?
Yeah, well...
we'll get closest.
Yeah, go closest. Yeah. You can go over.
Closest.
Yeah.
Okay.
I need a calculator just so I can do some math.
Just so I can do some basic math real quick. Well, I think there was like at least 10 just this year alone. That's big facts.
That sounds right.
I'm gonna have to say 10 times 10.
It's 100.
It's 100.
There's been $100 billion in movies.
I don't think since. I'm gonna go with in the past 10 years.
Yep, since January 1st, 2010.
2010. I'm gonna say.
And we're recording this on December 16th. So if there's a movie that comes out after this,
well, there's
sorry.
Cats. Not included. I'm gonna say. 48.
Okay.
You said 48?
I mean, if there's just 10 this year alone, I mean...
Yeah, but...
All right.
Gotta think about
locking in your 48?
Yeah, I'm locking in 48.
Bundy's got 48. What do you got?
45.
45?
Yep.
All right. I don't even need to do math on that one. There was a total of 38.
Oh,
Justin wins.
I was going to say
Justin gets that 1 point.
30. Because if you think about it, I think the Avengers was like one of the closest. Well, no. When did Avatar come out? 2009 or 2009?
2009, yeah. 2009.
2009. Yeah. Yeah, I knew that came out before 2010. And then I knew Avengers was like one of the top ones since then. Mm-hmm. Do you have like a breakdown of like each year?
No.
Or does this just say?
I mean, I can get one, but
okay, I didn't know.
Do you want to
know.
do some extra work on the fly?
I didn't know if like whatever you got the information from had like all the movies. I was intrigued. I know there's a lot.
Just Wikipedia.
The last 2 or 3 years, there's been a shit ton because that's because of movies cost more. And stuff
like most of the Marvel ones over the last couple of years have made it. I could probably find out the oldest one. I think it's in the 90s.
I think
it's either Titanic or Jurassic Park. Because I know Titanic.
Probably Jurassic Park.
I'm trying to think of the old. Yeah.
Yeah, Jurassic Park, hands down.
Yep, 93.
And how much does that make?
According to this, I just lost it. Made $1.028 billion. Or 029, yeah.
Because Titanic was like number 1 for the longest time, and then Avatar beat it.
Yeah. The top 3 are Endgame, Avatar, and Titanic.
Yep.
And then Force Awakens, Infinity War, and so on.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think this is a random fact, but I think Force Awakens has like the highest domestic.
Besides Endgame?
Well, it did before Endgame, but like,
Oh, okay.
for the longest time, it beat Avatar's domestic numbers.
Yeah, this is just worldwide.
But that's pretty nuts.
Another thing I thought was odd is that Wikipedia, when you look up this page, it highlights what movies are currently playing in green. And Spider-Man Far From Home was apparently still playing, and so is Lion King.
Yeah.
Why is that still playing? That's out on DVD.
Those are probably on like small theaters or
Remember
like
how they used to have the
small
one in
countries.
Moline?
Yeah.
That
Like
Just
it'd be,
inflating it.
yeah.
I don't know how many people are going to go see it
Yeah.
when you can pay.
I like those little movie theaters that used to have like RIP. That movie theater probably closed down in the last 10 years.
Oh no, it's been closed for a lot.
Has it?
Yeah.
Damn.
But it was the one in Moline. I forget the name of it, but it was like the week before it came out on video, they'd start playing it. But it was like a $5 ticket, and you got a drink and popcorn.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
it was like,
That's
I do remember that.
Muscatine had a same movie theater similar to that, and I used to go there all the time. And then they closed that one down, and they had like their brand new one, which is more expensive. It's similar to Rave.
Yeah, it's just like an AMC or something.
Yeah. So,
All right,
next question.
So
Next
Justin's in the lead with
question.
1 point,
Yes.
1-0. So the next one, going into the realm of video games here.
ooh,
I gotta get in front of the mic. So we're going to use the Game Awards that were formerly like the Spike Video Game Awards,
Yep.
Spike TV, because there's 1,500 different Game Awards. So I had to narrow it down to which one.
they used the beginning of this decade, I think it was Spike, and then now it's
Well,
just
good thing that's where we're starting.
Spike isn't a thing anymore. Did you know that?
No,
It's not.
yeah,
no.
that's why it's now just called the Game
Game
Awards.
Awards. Yep.
There's
So
the Paramount Network.
So the question is, since 2010, name name a Game of the Year winner. So name a game, and you get a bonus point if you can correctly name the year that it won said award. So Bundy, you can go first.
Okay.
Justin went first, and you
I
both
went,
can.
I went second.
Oh, okay, then sure, go ahead.
Okay.
You both can score points in this.
All right.
But you can't name the same game
Between 2010
and 2019.
Okay.
Because they do have a 2019 award. So
yeah. Breath of the Wild.
What year do you claim?
It came out in 2017. So yeah, 2017.
Who's calling someone?
Oh.
I just heard this ringing.
Yeah, it's 2017 because that's the year it came out. So I would assume that's obviously the award it would get. Yeah, 2017.
You get 2 points.
Yay.
Correct on both.
Yep.
All right, Bundy, you're up. So Breath of the Wild 2017, out of the running for you.
I know 2018 was too.
Don't say it.
I'm not going to.
Not yet.
I'm gonna say
One of these shocked me.
which one?
They're weird.
Specifically. He's calling me back now. I'm gonna say Super Mario Odyssey,
What year?
2018.
You get nothing.
Oh,
2018 was God of War.
Yep.
okay.
And then this year was Sekiro.
Yeah, Sekiro Shadow. I should have probably
It
canceled
was
that one
what?
out.
Sekiro.
Sekiro Shadows Die Twice.
It's like
Some fighting or Japanese or
yeah, it's
What is
like
it?
Dark Souls, but
Oh!
with samurais and whatnot.
Samurais. That's the word. I was like, I just penned my laptop.
Um,
Okay, so
Odyssey was the same year as Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
yeah, and it didn't win,
It didn't. Yeah.
unfortunately. But Justin's up 3-0.
Both great games.
Yeah. All right. So Justin's leading the decade in points here.
Woot.
This will also be the tiebreaker for the year because you both have won one quiz.
Ooh.
True.
So, all right. This one, we're stepping outside of our normal realm of conversation.
Shit.
Country music.
Well, not country music,
Close.
but we're going to talk about countries that have hosted the Olympic Games since
Fuck.
2010.
Okay.
So who went first last time, Justin?
Me.
All right, so Bundy, you get to go first. Same rules apply. Can't name the same. If he gets it right, you can't name the same country or year. So just name a country that has hosted the Olympics since 2010. And you get bonus points if you can name the city, the specific city,
Okay.
and the year. So 3 points up for grabs.
Uh,
But you have to get the country first.
Seoul, South Korea.
Okay. What year?
2016.
shitting yourself?
No, it's my tummy.
Hang on, I gotta double check something here. So, you did get South Korea. That is one point. Fortunately, it was not 2016.
Okay.
It was.
Was it Seoul, South Korea?
Well, that's what I'm looking up because the official one is Pyeongchang, South Korea, and I'm trying to see if they're the same thing.
Could be.
Yeah.
I've never been.
Oops, that's racist. So, what's lying to me? So it doesn't look like they're the same because it says how far is Seoul from.
Okay.
So you get 2 points.
Okay.
I will double check that to make sure. Or sorry, you get 1 point.
Okay.
Because you didn't get the year.
You can give me whatever points you want.
I will double check that though. Because yeah, when you said as soon as you said Seoul, it's like that sounds right, but that's not what was on the listing. So, all right, Justin, you've had time to think.
Yep. Moscow, Russia, 2017.
No, because 2017 is not an Olympic year.
Oh, 20.
No, you already got it. So you got Russia, but it was Sochi, not Moscow. So you both.
I know Russia was one.
So you both get a point.
What year is it?
2014.
2014. Fuck. So is it every 2 years or 3 years?
2.
I don't know Olympics. I know
2.
FIFA more.
It's 2.
Okay.
But
I know the World Cup's every 3.
Yeah, so sometimes they overlap.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, and Olympics alternate winter versus summer every 2, so every 4 the same one happens. All right.
Sweet.
So, the next one. So, it's 4-1. Justin's in the lead. Because you guys don't know your countries.
I was London on there?
Yes.
I could have kept going.
You should have done it.
Well, could I have kept going?
No, you only get the 1.
Yeah,
oh, okay. Okay.
We're not just gonna...
Europe!
Hang on. I gotta reread this one to make sure. Oh, okay. This one's kind of a fun one.
Okay.
So, I'm excluding Marvel and Star Wars from this because that would be too easy.
Yeah.
A lot of movies have come out. Back into movies, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So, name a movie that has come out since 2010 that is a direct sequel to a movie that has come out in a previous decade.
Oh, fuck.
So, for example...
Jurassic Park: The Lost World.
Okay, I guess Bundy's going first.
Wait, I was going first.
Oh. Well, I just said Jurassic Park. But...
Well, you get a bonus point if you can name the year the original movie came out. So...
Oh, the first Jurassic Park? It was 93.
Okay. Justin?
Fucker.
Oh, what? Like there isn't another one?
Can I have a second to think since he just jumped right in?
Sure.
Okay. That came out last decade?
Any previous decade. So Jurassic Park was right.
Okay.
Because that came out in the 90s.
Okay. Yeah. Dark Knight Rises, and it came out. That movie came out in 2012, and the previous movie was the original, or the one before it.
The original movie of that family of movies.
Okay.
So whatever it's a sequel of the original one.
That was Batman Begins 2005. Maybe.
And I'm just Googling the year. Yep.
Oh, my God.
Hey, you both get a point. Or 2 points.
Yeah. 2005, and then 2008 was Dark Knight. Yeah. That makes sense.
Okay. I was hoping that one would take longer.
Yay!
See, when I was like thinking it, I'm sitting there like Fast and the Furious. That came out.
There's a lot.
There's a ton. Yeah,
There are. Yeah.
What made me think about that one?
Well, we're in an era of sequels and
That's
remakes.
exactly
Yeah.
What made me originally think about that is like over the last 10 years we've had a sequel to a movie that has come out in like every previous decade. Mm-hmm. So like 70s with Star Wars, 80s with Terminator, 90s Jurassic Park, and the aughts with Iron Man.
Would any of the Hobbits movies work?
Hobbits movies? When did the first Hobbit movie come out?
Oh, the first Hobbit movie came out.
Because it's not a sequel to Lord of the Rings.
That's what I was gonna say.
I don't think the Hobbit movie. How many Hobbit?
There's
three.
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 God, why?
And
are
I
there
know,
3 Hobbit
I know,
movies?
2 of them went back to back years. So I think the first one came out.
2012.
I was in college. Nope. What?
2012
was the first one?
Yeah.
When did the second?
The Unexpected Journey.
And then
the Hobbit.
The
Hobbit. 2013.
2013.
And then the
next
last was 2014.
And it was like 6 months apart or something like that. I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It doesn't say the
Okay,
month on here, but
I'm glad I didn't say that then.
yeah, you would have looked like a real dumb.
I would look like a dumb. Could have said Iron Man too.
I said no
Said
Marvel.
No Marvel.
Oh, damn it.
You would have looked like a dum-dum.
No Marvel. Spider-Man.
All right.
All right.
So we're currently sitting at 6-3. Justin's in the lead.
All right.
You got this, buddy.
Assuming I have been keeping track of all the points. All right. This one's a quick fire round. Meaning,
Dun-dun-dun.
so how this one's going to go. Who went first last? Bundy went first last time. Justin gets to go first this time. So there are 6 questions total. How it's going to go is I'm going to ask whoever's going first on that particular question. I'm going to ask you the question. You have 5 seconds to answer. If you answer incorrectly or don't answer, that same question moves on to the next person. And
So on.
it doesn't keep going back and forth. It ends with the second one.
Yeah.
Because you don't get all that time to think.
Vice versa, and then he'll start, and then
Yeah.
So
And
what
you
if-
get 1 point.
What if he gets it right? Can he just keep going
Then-
until he gets it wrong?
No, because then
Oh,
you
okay.
get the next question.
Deal.
So,
Game on.
all right. Are you ready?
No.
So, since 2010, name the number of mainline Call of Duty games that have been released. Main series.
Main series
3, 2,
6.
One. No. Bundy? 5 seconds.
4.
No. Neither of you got it. It was 10. It's
10.
been 10 Call of Duty
I
What
was
games.
is
say-
wrong with you people?
No, it comes out every year.
Every
God
year,
Damn it! I
yep.
should have thought about that.
Every year.
I was like, well, Maine, or does that count? Never mind. Go on.
All right, Bundy? Or just...
It's
who's
Bundy.
up?
It's
Bundy,
Bundy,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
You ready? Name the movie that Leonardo DiCaprio finally won an Oscar for.
The Revenant.
Yep.
That's not fair.
That's as fair as the
That's
last
an
one.
easy one.
All right, Justin.
Yep.
What did Cardi B do to Nicki Minaj at a Fashion Week party that made headlines?
Oh.
5, 4, 3.
Slapper?
No, Bundy.
Threw a shoe at
That's
the
right.
bitch.
Threw a shoe.
Stupid.
Bundy's catching up. 6
Yeah.
or 6-5.
I don't know my
All right.
my rapper beef.
Who's going? Bundy.
It's Bundy. Yeah.
All right. What was Netflix's first original show? 5, 4.
House of Cards.
Mm.
Yes,
God.
that's right. I thought you were gonna say Orange Is the New Black because that's like the popular
That's like
one.
yeah. It's
But
like,
that
was early on.
I actually made a note of both. Orange Is the New Black came out in July of 2013. House of Cards was February of 2013. So they were like back to back. All right, Justin, are you ready?
no.
What or who stole the show during Katy Perry's Super Bowl halftime show in 2015?
Left Shark.
Yes. All right. You guys are a point apart. Justin's leading 7-6.
I got one more of the speed round.
Yeah, one more. So Bundy, if you can get this, that's a
It's all
tie.
tied up.
But I have a tiebreaker question.
Oh, of course he does.
It's easy, but I have one. All right. Oops. What company did Facebook purchase in 2012?
Instagram.
Yes. You have both tied. 7-7.
7 heads.
So,
Let's go.
down to the
7 minutes in
wire.
heaven in Gavin's closet.
Down to the wire. So this one,
The Wire came out before 2012.
so this one's just whoever shouts it first.
Is this to win the whole thing?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Jesus Christ, that was loud.
What if he's wrong when he says it though?
Then he doesn't get to answer
Yeah.
again.
I'm zapped. I'm buzzed.
Yeah, he's out. But you have a
Just
time
like-
limit. I'm not
just
going to let
like
you
the
sit here
Pokemon
and
quiz.
All right.
So I'm going to put a 5-second timer for both of you. All right.
Wait. So he
I
goes
need
first.
I need the Pokemon.
you both go
quiz
both going.
music.
You go at the same time.
Okay. You said okay.
Yeah.
You remember the Pokemon quiz music?
Yes.
It's the best.
All right. Ready?
Yeah.
To win it all, to win the decade of quizzes. This is about Marvel. How many feature films has Robert Downey Jr. portrayed Tony Stark in since 2010? 5, 4, 3,
16.
2.
9.
Justin was closest. It was 8.
Oh.
16.
I was trying to think because it was like I think he beat out Hugh Jackman, and I thought Hugh Jackman was in like 12 or something.
Maybe. But remember, the first Iron Man came out in 2008, so that didn't count.
Oh,
So you got to count that
okay.
one off. But yeah, it was 8. I counted them, and that includes all his little cameos and stuff like that.
Fair.
Sir.
So Justin wins.
Decade.
8-7. That was a close one.
That was a good one. That was a good game. The speed round fucked me up.
Yeah, I was hoping it would. I liked coming up with to come
Yeah.
up with some of those. I just like went to like BuzzFeed and just looked up their quizzes and then just like fed off those.
Yeah. Well, perfect. Well, let's start talking about some favorites. We can talk about some stuff we fucking hate. We can talk about stuff we don't like either, if you want to.
Justin.
Bitch, I was before this decade.
Our podcast started this decade. I should have had that question. I said, what podcast started?
All of them. This
was
decade.
based in Iowa.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Specifically, I should have given your address.
Yeah. So, what are some highlights? I know we talked about our life and whatnot, but we can probably just talk about like just moments in like pop culture, movies, video games. Even music. There's been some good music this year.
Yeah.
This decade, I should say.
I was going to have a few more music questions, but there were so many
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even that, it was just like I didn't know which genre to go with because, like either way I'd be playing a favorite. So
yeah. Well, speaking of music, I know we talked about before the show, we said Taylor Swift was announced as like the
artist of the year.
Decade.
Yeah. Billboard's top person.
Who would you consider the artist of the decade?
Oh, I mean, unfortunately, it has to kind of be a pop star.
Yeah.
Because like as much as I like rock and like
stuff.
alt, they don't really do much.
Yeah.
Like I think the closest that would come would be Mumford and Sons, just because they're still like a headline name.
Yeah.
But they're not. Well, their new music is kind of pop, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know because I don't really like Taylor Swift. Does Beyonce like still do music?
Yeah.
I mean,
Because she hasn't done a whole lot the last few. Like she's been more into everything. Like as a whole,
Everybody
rather
was
than
about
just
Lemonade
music.
when that came out.
yeah, I mean, she's like Adele in the fact that she has such a huge, enormous fan base. She could drop tomorrow, and it would be, the talk of the town for like, the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So she doesn't need to like keep putting out stuff.
Yeah,
all the time.
I feel like Harry Styles, as of late, has been that kind of artist where people are just obsessive over him. Or
Maybe.
One Direction.
yeah.
One
I mean,
Direction was big for
a hot minute.
Like
But
a
those
year or
artists
two.
are still
I mean,
pumping up.
fucking probably Bieber. He's been massive.
Yeah,
over
Bieber.
the last Ed Sheeran. That's been the last couple years.
Yeah.
But like as we were kind of talking before, it's probably Drake, just based on
That's what I'd
sales.
say.
I mean, because he's one of the top selling artists
Yeah.
like of all time, specifically of this decade.
Yeah, I think Drake's my choice. I just, in general, I feel like he's resonated very well in the last decade. He's obviously extremely popular, and he's thrown out some bangers.
Yeah,
Even if they're memes, they're bangers. You can't deny that.
Eminem's had a hot 20 years.
Yeah, he's
He
hot and
never-
cold. He'll like be really hot for a minute, and then like
Well, it's just when he drops an album, like
Yeah.
he's popular for that 6 months, and then you don't
Yeah.
hear a single thing about him until the next one comes out.
definitely.
yeah.
What do you think, Bundy? Artist wise,
Artists, specifically probably Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick's my favorite of the last decade.
Yeah.
But like, if I had to like,
Yeah, if
if
we're
I had to
talking favorites,
choose somebody, yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Drake.
mine would be Kendrick, but I mean Drake, he does his thing. So
Yeah. Kendrick just pushed the boundaries.
yeah, I think
To Pimp a Butterfly is one of my favorite albums this
Yeah.
past decade.
yeah, there's more thought that goes into his music.
Yep.
Maybe you could say that.
Yeah, there's just good themes and
Yeah.
actual rhetoric that's used in his lyrics, and I think that's and it's just weird.
Yeah,
Like,
it's different.
It's good weird.
What else as far as music? K-pop has sort of burst onto the scene.
I was gonna
a
say
little
K-pop
more.
is my least favorite thing of this decade. One of the things
Oh
I
my
don't like.
Yeah,
And I don't
it's
necessarily
not
think
for
it's
me,
K-pop.
but-
I think it's the people that support K-pop, that group. And
yeah.
I just want them to go away.
Yeah, K-pop's something. It's like when it randomly comes on Spotify for whatever reason, it's
Yeah.
like I'll dance along to it, but I couldn't name a single group or star or anything from that entire
know.
genre. It's
Yeah,
like
I know a
wouldn't
couple, but
wouldn't have
BTS. That's about it.
yeah.
Okay, well I've heard of them. I didn't
Yeah.
realize they were K-pop. I've never
Yeah.
actually listened to them.
Yeah. Which is the fact that they were on Saturday Night Live. It's in the past decade, I would say. You'd have to say that K-pop has crossed over somewhat into, the global music spectrum.
Yeah.
I do have to say, I feel like SNL in this last decade has kind of gotten some steam of sorts.
Yeah.
I feel like SNL is because I feel like there was like a point because I like SNL a lot, but I feel like
Yeah.
there was a point where it wasn't that great and it's kind of like lazy. But I feel like in the last decade it's gotten a lot better. I feel like their current cast is pretty strong and
I mean,
consistent.
it always, there's like an ebb and flow, just like with anything. But I mean, just the changing, like political climate.
Yep.
what is and isn't funny. Like if you look back at like jokes from the 70s on SNL, it's like wildly different than what it is now. So some people, you know, there's probably some people out there who might have watched it when they were growing up that, you know, think it's too politically correct now or something like that.
Yeah,
so
but
I think it draws a different audience now than maybe it did in the past.
Well, the thing I think about it, I feel like this whole decade's been kind of like the decade of being politically correct in general. I feel like we've been #woke in the last 10 years.
Yeah, that's come about.
I mean,
Black Lives Matter.
A lot of stuff has
Me Too
gone
movement.
on. With, especially with, I mean, majority of that has happened in the last 3 years because of a certain political presence. I mean, it was definitely going on before then, but it hasn't surfaced as much since then.
I just feel like because of said presence, they feel like they're okay. It's okay to do those shitty things. You know what I mean? So, we're not going to go too far into politics. We've had that episode. That was fun, though. But it's just, I feel like it's very, if you were to like compare the difference between the past decade and this decade when it comes to those politically correct kind of situations, like even I'll see Facebook posts from people back from like even before high school or whenever like Facebook was just beginning. And I was like probably early this decade, and like they would put stuff that they probably fucking shouldn't put. Like why? You're white. Stop saying that shit. And they don't probably anymore. But like it's just astonishing to see that shit. And it's like
a good metric to see how much has changed is go watch Superbad. I recently watched that like a few weeks ago. It's like there's no way that would get made today, and like it wouldn't catch flack.
Yeah, that's kind of going back to Saturday Night Live. It's like comedy isn't kind of to what Todd Phillips said about like promoting the Joker. Like, oh, you know, like you couldn't make like The Hangover now, or like people are too like insensitive or sensitive to like certain jokes, and it kind of has changed, you know, comedy in like films, because we don't really have like comedy, that kind of big comedy movies that come out anymore.
And you get, I don't know, I feel like he kind of has a point. I feel like Dave Chappelle was a good example of that when he came out with his special. It was very like,
he said some certain things
like you shouldn't be saying that, but at the same time, he hasn't really changed at all. You know, he's doing the same stuff he's been doing since early 2000s. So
on the other side, it has sprouted some other like comedians to be able to make jokes like that, and it's funny. Like one of the hardest I've laughed in the last few years was who was it? When Donald Glover was doing his like Netflix special or something like that. He has this joke about being Spider-Man. And he's like, oh yeah, like half of Twitter was like, oh yeah, he'd be a good Spider-Man. Let's bring on Spider-Man. And the other half was like, he's black, kill him. I never laughed so hard.
He's that special. That's pretty funny.
But yeah, like stuff like that. It's like, I mean, obviously could have told that joke 10 years ago, but I don't think it would have had like the impact it would have without all the other stuff going on. It's like people are actually understand. It's like, oh yes, this is a real thing.
I mean, look at Donald Glover, like his career in the past 10 years.
It's
like
elevated.
30 Rock writer, Community, rapper, actor.
He's a good dude. He's got a lot going on.
I was listening to what's his Camp. You ever listen to that album?
It's a good one.
It's so good.
Bonfires on that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's just wrapped in nostalgia for me, but yeah.
It's good. They were playing Childish at the bars like later, and I was like super drunk, and I was like, they're playing Childish right now. I don't know what song it is because I'm so drunk, but I know it's Childish. But yeah, it's cool to see like people like him elevate so high. And I'm trying to think, what other artists or like actors do you think have like had a big decade?
Robert Downey Jr.
besides Robert Downey Jr.
Like the smaller one, or like not quote unquote smaller.
Tiffany Haddish. I mean, she's.
Yeah, I know her name. What's she in?
She's like in Girls Trip. She's like the funny black chick. She's like the only funny black, not the only.
I think I can picture.
She's like the most well-known one, so to speak.
Like Melissa McCarthy had a good decade. Like even if she's cringy sometimes, like she's just
she's had some funny bits.
Yeah, but she's up there. I would say like had a good decade.
I'm trying to think of like I'm like trying to now cycle through what movies came out. Chris Pratt.
Big decade.
Nothing.
Yeah, he had Parks. He had Guardians. Obviously, kind of elevated him like movie star status.
Yeah.
Where now he does like Jurassic Park movies and then random other shit. Here and there, but I think this. I feel like this specific. What were you gonna say?
Jordan Peele.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Key and
Definitely.
Peele to now
Get
auteur
Out.
film director.
Yeah. Get Out. Us, and now Candyman.
Yeah.
Interesting. Who's in Candyman that we know?
I don't know.
The guy who plays.
Is it Yaya?
Yeah, I think it's.
Oh
Yaya.
shit!
Yep, I'm pretty sure it's Yaya.
Yeah. Sweet.
How do you say his full name? Okay, you don't want to
No,
try it?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I want him in more stuff. Please.
Yeah, I'm sure
Give
he'll
him.
be in more stuff.
Yeah, I love him.
Yeah.
John Krasinski. He's come up in the
Oh,
last
yeah.
few years.
Big movies.
Big action
Direct-
star
yeah.
now.
Good for him.
Directing.
Mm-hmm.
I would even say I would say like the first half of the decade, like Steve Carell. I feel like Steve Carell had a big, Office ended I think towards the beginning of the decade, and then he had a lot of movie roles and whatnot, but not as much lately. Like here and there, he'll have some.
He's had a few lately, but they've all been like drama. Like
Yeah.
he hasn't done a real comedy in a long time.
Exactly, and he does like a lot of like Oscar bait movies, which is good for him because
Yeah.
he's a good actor in general. Leo obviously has had a good decade.
I think all of his decades.
Yeah,
are
I was gonna say.
pretty
I
good.
don't know if he's
consistent.
ever had a downspout.
Same with Quentin Tarantino. I feel like his movies are.
I mean, same
Since
thing.
the
yeah.
90s,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. I feel like that's something going into the next decade is still going to be strong. I
Yeah.
feel like I think he say like this is going to be one of his last movies, or he originally said he only make 11
think
or something like that.
yeah, I think he
he's
said.
always said he was gonna
But
do
he-
10.
But
Yeah.
he'll do more.
But then like Kill Bill was one movie.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
his like caveat.
Have you
'Cause-
guys seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
No,
Bundy?
I haven't yet.
Oh, I love it.
It's long, and I don't.
It
have
is
time.
long.
that's why I haven't watched The Irishman because it's like 3.5
Ooh,
hours.
it's
I'm
so
like-
long.
Yeah.
It's
Like, I
so
can't do
long.
that.
Yeah.
Like I have to break up Last Jedi into chunks just because that's long.
Yeah.
Like,
That's true.
I don't have the time.
Yeah. What else? I'm trying to think of other movies. Any shows in the last decade?
Yeah, a ton of shows.
I know,
Game
but-
of Thrones was a huge success. Well,
Game of Thrones
was a hit.
Like I know last season was kind of disappointing, but like that show owned a shit ton of this decade.
Oh yeah,
Because
like
it started in 2011, 2012, or whatever.
yeah, I don't remember what because they had a few years off in
Yeah, it might
between
have been
seasons,
2010.
so
It might have been exactly at the beginning of the decade.
maybe. But it ended this last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that one, whether you like it or not,
It's
it's like
massive.
you have to admit that it was one of the biggest shows of all time.
Walking Dead. Walking Dead was a huge fucking thing at the beginning of the decade. I
yeah,
felt like
that really
everyone,
tapered down though.
It fell off, but I feel like it's extremely popular still, and it had insane numbers.
It didn't kick off the zombie craze, but
Yeah.
it definitely had a part in it because once that first or second season of Walking Dead happened, there were zombie movies left
and
and
we
right.
cannot talk about. Well, when did it start? It was like 2009, 2010. Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
It was honestly
I liked that. That was
one of the greatest shows
that's
ever
one
made.
of my favorites. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't at me. It's fantastic.
I mean, like that's one of those shows. Unfortunately, the first couple seasons are kind of dry and slow.
Yeah.
But it's like you need them to understand the change in character.
Yep.
Because Walt and Jesse totally like flip characters and flip their roles.
Yep.
And one of the things I love about movies and shows that span a long period of time like that is going back to watch like the first episode and just in my mind saying like this person has no idea that they're going to become the world's biggest meth kingpin or whatever,
Yeah.
like whatever their story is. It's like that's always fun to do.
Yeah.
Like same thing with like Marvel. It's like you look at skinny Captain America in the first Captain America movie. It's like you're going to save the universe. It's like you have no clue what's ahead of you.
Exactly, and it's just bonkers.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I love Breaking Bad. I think Breaking Bad, the last season is one of my favorite seasons of television.
Oh,
it's just
yeah.
it's so well written, so well acted. There's not like a shit ton of action by any means, but it's so damn good.
One of the best episodes, or one of my favorite, I don't know about the best, is when Hank finds out
Yeah.
who Walt is. Because it's like a mid-season
It was a
cliffhanger.
mid-season cliffhanger.
Yeah.
because it ended in the fall and it came back in the spring. And
Yeah.
I remember all of us watching, and I was like, "What the
It's-
fuck?"
Yeah, and it's the moment when they're in the garage talking about it, and
Yeah.
like Walt realizes he knows, or Hank knows, so then he like steps closer, like he's just about to like have a heart-to-heart, and he just like threatens him. It's like,
Yep.
oh shit! It's like he's not fucking around.
He
He's like he
flipped
just
his
threatened.
character.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah.
went-
It's like
so
he
good.
just threatened his brother-in-law, who's a DEA like
yeah.
head agent, whatever. It's
I
like,
really wish Bryan Cranston did more. I don't feel like
he did a handful of stuff right after Breaking
Yeah,
Bad,
and then-
and he was good in them, but nothing really stood out. Like he was in
he was in Godzilla.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. It's like it was fine, but definitely
you don't
not.
go to Godzilla for the people.
No,
well, yeah, but it's like if
you could write a good movie with good people with Godzilla, you know what I mean? You don't have to have necessarily.
It's about
No,
Godzilla.
okay,
No.
well,
Any Godzilla movie.
But it's like coming off a show, like one of the hottest shows on television,
Yep.
to then do something like that. It's like you'd think you'd have a little more, you'd be a little more picky on what you're doing. But maybe he made a lot of money for it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he could always just be like, hey, I'll never top that, so why even try to go back and try to do some, prestige TV thing again?
Yeah.
People always just compare me to that role forever. Like, I'm surprised he hasn't gone and tried to do, like, I don't know, like a sitcom, like another Malcolm in the Middle or something like that. Just because...
If they brought... I'm tired of, like, let's bring back this show mentality, but I would watch a Malcolm in the Middle reboot.
I never watched Malcolm in the Middle, but
It was good.
It's pretty funny.
That's where I knew him from previously.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
In the past 10 years, the occupation of a social media influencer, like a YouTube vlogger, that's become a thing.
That was going to be one of my things I hate because I wanted to go on a rant because it sprouted a bunch of like just shitty people.
Oh yeah, like Logan Paul or whichever the shitty one is.
The Pauls.
Oh,
They're
okay.
both shitty people.
I don't know the difference between them.
Jake Paul now has a grill and he's a piece of shit trying to like fucking rap, and it's like worse Post Malone. Like I don't mind Post Malone. I actually like Post Malone, but it's like really like lazy, not talented Post Malone. Like you can obviously tell someone's like extremely producing it, and he's just a YouTuber who makes stupid money doing fucking nothing. So.
I watched the YouTube Rewind. I don't know anybody in it.
Oh, it's awful this year, dude. Like this year's.
Yeah,
it's poop. Last year was so bad.
Even that was the Will Smith one, right?
Really,
yeah.
Yes.
Even the last few years, it's like every single year I watch it, I know less and less people in it because I don't really follow like YouTubers. Like I've stuck with the same channels for the last 7-8 years, and just kind of follow them around. But
there's a handful of people I really like, and they're different. So
yeah, like I mean, there are people I might recognize. Like if Philip DeFranco or something shows up, it's like I'll know who he is, even though I don't watch him anymore. But yeah, like some of those people,
he's still running strong.
I've got no clue who they are. Yeah, well, he has his like whole own thing now. Yeah, like his own department of YouTube.
Phil DeFranco for many years.
Same. I've watched him since college because that's when I was like social, like politically woketh. It was in college, and then I started watching him because I was like, I don't know where to get like good like media or like news. Like I don't really trust any. But this was before like the whole hashtag fake news bullshit. But I was like, I don't know. I don't like Fox News by any means. I don't want to watch CNN.
I remember when I was first watching him, he'd like have a segment on his shows, just like pictures of hot girls, and just to see like how his content has changed.
It's changed, yeah.
Do you know who was super popular? Or at least I know you watched him, and I watched him all the time. And then he tanked bad. Ray William Johnson. Yeah, you remember him? Equals 3. He had a show kind of like Philly D, where he would just have like news clips and it was like Tosh.0 essentially before Tosh.0. And he would just comment on him and like make jokes and stuff. It's like it was super funny. And then it's like the more you watch it, it's like, oh, he's not going down the right path now. And then he totally tanked and quit that show. And then he had like some Facebook thing or something like that. But
everything lasts a lot shorter.
Yeah. Oh yeah. On YouTube or on the internet
in general. Like your star, your light is a lot shorter.
Yeah, a lot more competition.
Yeah,
that's one of the bad things about YouTube is that everyone kind of gets their 15 minutes. So,
but even when you have those 15 minutes, I feel like a lot of them should like fucking save. Like David Dobrik, for example, it makes stupid.
Why do I know that
money.
name?
He's one of the bigger YouTubers, but he used to be a Viner of sorts. He's
Vine.
like my
Vine came and
went. Yeah, came and went,
and now it's TikTok practically.
Yeah.
But he's one of the bigger YouTubers. He's like my guilty pleasure person because he's a douchebag. But I like watching him because he spends his money on stupid stuff, and then he'll like do actually quote unquote good things, and it's like, well, why do a camera the whole time? But it's a vlogger. But he makes stupid fucking money and just buys all of his friends cars and stuff out of nowhere. He's like, he has ad sponsors for like SeatGeek and like even Bumble. He recently was like, somebody said to him about Bumble. He's like, oh, I'm going to keep that in the video. I'm going to call the Bumble rep I know. And he's like, how much are you going to pay me if I leave this in the video? He's like, they bleep it out, but it has to be like $20,000 to $30,000 every time he says that. Yeah. Because he has so many fucking followers. He gets like 4 to 5, or I would say 4 to 6 million per video. and he puts
That's
them out
stupid.
like 3 to 4 videos a week.
Yeah, well, PewDiePie was making what 100 or something like million a year.
Yeah, they came out with the numbers recently. Or they do it every year, but they always come out with like who was like the highest paid YouTuber. Jake Paul sadly was like number 3 last year, and PewDiePie was like 8 or 7.
That's the other thing is like there's a lot more already rich, already famous people that are starting YouTube, and it's like you that's not really the point. I mean, I guess now it is the point of
now
YouTube,
it is. Yeah,
but
now that there's
originally,
money to
like
be made.
yeah, like Will Smith, he's got his own
Jack
channel.
Black. But Jack Black,
I'm fine with because nobody cares about him.
Yeah.
Like nobody watches his shit, and and he's Jack Black.
I think Jack Black's channel is pretty popular.
It's popular.
Well, yeah, but like when you compare it to like it.
I watch YouTube, or I watch Will Smith stuff on YouTube because it's pretty fucking funny, and it's just like it's like the perfect like 7-minute video of him just like going around being Will Smith.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm subscribed to anybody. Like I don't watch David Dobrik or any like YouTuber.
Yeah.
Like Philip DeFranco would be like the most in, but he just sits and reads the news basically. So
Yeah. I think the only like YouTuber I'm subscribed to is this dude called named Peter McKinnon, and he just does like photography and videography stuff.
Oh.
But yeah, even that, it's like he doesn't have one of those massive channels.
Yeah.
I
I like a lot of YouTubers that have like a lot of like conversations about stuff, about movies. Obviously, Collider. I like watching Collider stuff.
Yeah.
Similar to Screen Junkies, I guess.
Yeah, I don't even know how like some videos I watch, I'm like shocked at how few views they get because I mean, you never really know about like how big your audience is, and which is the other thing is like with seeing like the ebb and flow of YouTube, like oh shit, and now everybody's getting all this ad money, and everybody's like going through MCMs or the like the Defy Medias and stuff, and then Defy Media goes bankrupt, and like everybody loses money, and then you get your Patreon, so you have people just getting, you get people, people who need your support to like do this stuff for a living, and now it's all crowdsourced and crowdfunded things.
Which is bonkers how much they make off Patreon.
Yeah.
I was doing like some of the math on some of these people, and like I think some of them are like, which isn't like a lot. It's a lot for us, but they're making like $20K a month just off their Patreon.
That's a lot for a lot of people.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Can you imagine
it's a lot for a family of 4.
Yeah, can you imagine if you did like that and like your day job or something?
Yeah, and then they make the ad revenue too.
Yeah.
From which isn't a lot,
Like-
honestly. Like in general,
Not anymore, yeah.
I watched this one show. It's like, nerd pop culture stuff, and they get maybe like a couple thousand views on each video.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know how many of those people are like also subscribed on Patreon for like $5 a month, but I mean, you add all those $5 up.
I don't know how Collider does it because they're actual like company, aren't they? Pretty much.
Yeah. They have. I mean, like Screen Junkies after. They left before Defy went under, but now they're owned by Fandom. So Fandom fronts all the money.
Yeah.
But I mean, for like a company that size, like Philip DeFranco, he had to go and make his own company because he sold like SourceFed and those kind of other branches off to like Discovery, and then Discovery sold all that, and that's when all that ended. So just seeing these various internet shows and businesses
do stuff,
just fall and then kind of rise again.
It's good for people with all the ad money. You know what I mean? Like the people that like the businesses paying them, because it's just
Audible.
Audible.
They never release numbers for obvious reasons, but I always want to know how much these companies are actually getting for what they're spending on these ads. Because like my previous job, I did a ton of marketing work, like social media marketing. So like I know what a small company, what like a good day is. I can only imagine what like Audible or someone is doing if they're making anything really, because I don't know about you, but anytime a sponsored post or something comes on, I skip it. Like I just fast forward the YouTube video, or I just completely ignore it and use that 30 seconds to do something else.
I bet they know that a lot of people are going to do that.
Well, because I mean, there's a metric. It's like, for every view you get, like 1% of them are going to like click on the ad, and then like 1% or 5% of those people are actually going to convert. Yeah. So it's like there's a metric. So it's like that's why you're spending tens of thousands of dollars to make back.
It depends on how egregious the ad read is. If it's something like funny that they're just like making jokes while they're reading the ad and just fucking around, I'll just give it because it's just more like joke content. But if it like completely breaks away,
Derails.
like hey, you really like this video on philosophy. You know who has a really great philosophy? This phone game. Get right now and you get 250,000 silver.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, like this doesn't pertain to anything.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've asked this before. Would you rather have an ad in like the middle? Let's say you're listening to a podcast. Would you rather have an ad in the middle be read by the people on the podcast in the middle, or like an inserted ad from like the company or a voiceover?
The first one.
Yeah. I think
it's way more bearable.
Yeah.
And I like them, so there's a reason I'm listening to them.
I don't like it when they like just abruptly do it. Like if it's like a good stopping point, they're like, all right, well, this is a good time to mention our sponsor, blah blah. But if it's like someone's in mid sentence, they're like, oh, hang on, it's at the 33-minute mark, I have to read this.
Yeah. I mean that happens sometimes, but
I do find it fascinating that podcasts in general have been growing very popular in like.
Well, it's because they're simpler to do than pretty much any other medium, and
literally any idiot can put together a podcast.
Yeah.
And
but I think it's easier for people to just like turn it on.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's
walk around, do whatever.
People are busy,
anything.
and they might be busier now because there's just a lot more going on. So, like with me, it's like when I go do yard work or something, I'm listening to a podcast or something. So it's like because I don't need a screen in front of me for it. Or it's like you're driving to work. It's podcasts have killed the radio. Like radio shows.
The internet killed the radio.
Internet killed
TV killed the radio.
Yeah.
Radio
internet killed the TV.
I don't know how people. Well, let's say I don't know how radio still makes money, but again, it's all that ad stuff that's on there. But still,
I don't think radio makes money.
Not a whole lot.
So anymore?
No.
I mean, it makes enough money to stay afloat, but
all the radio stations in the country are owned by like 5 companies or less.
Yeah.
So it's not like there's a whole lot of competition really at all.
And they pretty much just have it anymore just because you don't want dead air. It's like people need something, so we're gonna give these people $20 a week to host a radio show.
So with that being said about the decade, since we're getting pretty close here,
this will be a longer one.
Yeah, we'll do a longer one. But we'll probably talk about the next points a lot. What are like some of your highlights of this decade? Like, what are like some moments, either again in movies, video games, even just in your personal life? What would you say like are some like the best moments of this decade for you?
I mean, yeah, like as far as personal, I think I mentioned them at the start, just like graduating and getting a real job and all that, like that.
Being an adult.
That's pretty high up there. But yeah, as far as like the pop culture stuff, like definitely the whole MCU was a highlight.
Yeah, I agree.
And I was thinking about that because when the first Iron Man came out, it was 2008 or whatever, but it's like that kind of kicked it off. But even then I was like interested in the movie, but I wasn't nearly as interested in like the entire universe as I am now. And then Endgame came out and like perfectly summed up or wrapped up the entire last 10 years of movies plus. So it's like, that was pretty good.
I was just looking at a big old list.
What list?
Pop culture moments.
Like as far as just moments go, there's 1,000 like all the random gifs and memes and like Left Shark
the fact
video.
That memes are a thing.
Yep, they really sprouted.
Yeah.
I think just memes or anything on the internet, like on like Twitter.
Well, yeah, like
the best.
Yeah,
I love much like Twitter now. I used to like not care for Twitter at the beginning of the decade, I guess, because it wasn't as like popular.
I'm the opposite.
But I feel like Twitter is like my main source of news that I go to daily.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. Like in high school and early years of college, I was like all about Twitter and I was on it every single day. And now it's like I'll check it once a month maybe, or if I get mentioned in something, which never happens. So it's like I'm really not on Twitter.
Gender reveal parties.
No.
Oh yeah,
I like those.
I mean, they're fine. I just don't get it. Like, why have a party for that?
Just an excuse.
I mean, my sister had a party, but
yeah,
but still,
it's something that
like,
happens now.
If it's a small thing, that's fine. But like, I've seen some of them online where it's like they invite everybody and their mother over to pop a balloon. It's like, cool. It's
awesome.
Like, why not do this when the kid's born?
Yeah.
How
about you?
Same-sex marriage. That's a thing now.
Oh yeah,
officially.
What was that?
Legally.
2013.
I think it was later than that.
Was it?
Well, okay. Well, there were states that did it, and then there was like the nationwide.
The nationwide was like 2013.
June 26th, 2015.
Was it?
The United States Supreme Court approved the legalization of gay marriage.
What's this?
That
13?
happened 4 years ago.
You have to hope that things like that were just like people in Washington just didn't realize. Just to hope that humanity is okay. It's like you have to hope that it's like one of those laws. Like, you know, every state has laws that are just ridiculous and stupid. Like you can't ride your horse on the sidewalk or something. It's like stuff that is still technically a law, but nobody enforces it. You would hope that gay marriage would be one of those things, but it wasn't. Like
for a while.
plenty of. I mean, still today there are people like churches that will say it's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. It's like even though it's legal, I don't have to do it for you.
Or like that cake lady who got fucking praised as a hero who refused to make that same sex couple's marriage wedding cake.
Yeah,
remember that?
That was stupid. But
that was
stupid.
I mean,
at the same time, it's like if she can do
off.
that, then other people can say I'm not going to make a Republican cake or something.
Yeah.
I know it's a stupid argument, but it's an argument that has to be made.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would make them a cake.
I'd make them.
And I can't cook.
Yeah.
Or I can't bake, I guess.
For me, I think it's what we talk about a lot. It's just movies. I feel like there's been a lot of damn good movies. There's been some bad movies, but like, I like. It's a double-edged sword because I really like how we've had a lot of sequels and like trilogies are getting revived. Like similar like Star Wars, we saw a new trilogy from Star Wars, more content from them. I feel like, again, I don't want to toot my same fucking horn. I've been tooting forever, but like Disney's had a great decade. Like I feel like Disney's pushed the boundaries of both movies in general. Granted, they own like everything.
They own
now,
everything, yeah.
and they've had a good.
Do they push the boundaries though that often?
When it comes to
Not-
visuals, even like Jungle Book.
That's
Jungle
more
Book
just
was it.
technology.
That's what I
like,
mean, but, like,
technology
it's
did
not
it, and then
specific-
Disney
yeah.
bought it.
Yeah.
But I'm not just talking about movies, though. I'm talking about the theme parks. I'm talking about everything that as a company.
Has
they
the theme
do.
park really advanced that much?
Yes.
It's got roller coasters.
Shut the fuck up. I will fight
I mean,
you.
they're still doing animatronics, aren't they?
That's just what I view.
Six
That's
Flags
my
is,
opinion.
it's about half the price.
But you can't argue that they've had a fucking baller ass decade.
On the-
do I question some of their business models and decisions?
Gonna have
Yes,
to.
because they're
Let's
Shit.
see
They're a
what
monopoly.
happens with China in this next upcoming decade.
Yeah.
Because
Because
China has a huge movie market.
Yep.
And if we get some sort of protest going on between, like, you know, movies being shown there and made there for that audience, but they're in support of the Chinese government, who's
Well,
not
yeah.
in support of people,
Yep.
then we have a problem.
That's a super recent, like within the last few months,
Yeah.
that's become
Well,
an
I guess
actual thing.
That's another thing about this whole decade is I feel like I've been more politically involved.
You've been older.
and aware of everything.
You're older.
Yeah, and
Like
it's easier to
compare
get
this
news.
compare like 2020 to 2030 to 2030 to 2040,
Yeah.
and you'll probably be
Yeah.
similar that entire time.
Yeah, but that's a big changing point. I feel
Yeah,
like, for
no,
everybody.
yeah,
And that's
definitely
what I'm
is.
saying. That's just very. I'm glad, obviously, that I'm aware of stuff and I have my own like thoughts, and I'm not just fed. Because when you're growing up, you pretty
Whatever
much
your parents or
yeah.
whatever you see on the
And
news. Yeah.
as you may know, I'm very opposite when it comes to politics. My parents, and I don't know if that's just like the older you get, the more like conservative you get. But I don't think
I
that's
think
a
that
fair.
happens
I mean,
a lot.
yeah, but it's also, I mean that's kind of a bias because the people who are older now grew up in a different time when people were more conservative. So it's like they've just carried on that
Yeah.
path.
It's just fascinating because I'm not gonna fucking bag on my parents by any means, but like my stepdad, for example, was really big in the Beatles and like that hippie movement because he's a little bit older, but now he's like the complete like very like don't take my money, build the wall kind of like mentality, and I'm just like that's such a fascinating change to me. I don't know. It's different, but it's a big moment for us in the last decade, and I feel like we've had the extreme differences with when it comes to like our leaders of sorts. You know what I mean? We had
we were going in such a good direction.
we were, yep,
and then
we
backpedaled hard.
We had such a great president. Was everything he did did he do everything perfectly? No, exactly. No one's fucking perfect.
But he was a good dude.
But he was a good dude, a good leader, and he was respectful. And I feel like that has kind of flipped in the last 3 years. And we can bag on who all we want. Fucking
Again,
Voldemort.
yeah.
But still, you know what I mean?
We are a little biased on that also.
Yeah.
But I would say that there are more people that would agree with us about Obama than would agree with Republicans about Trump currently. Because I feel like there's a bigger divide between those.
But
or smaller.
I feel like we've just seen a big difference between the two. And that's, I don't know, not shocking to me, but it is a lot to take in. And it's kind of good, I guess, for people to make up the decision, because you've seen one leader and now you have another leader. And that's like, well, what do you like?
I mean,
granted, all he does is just spew out whatever his followers want to hear.
And I don't think I would call Obama as much of an extremist leader as Trump. Like, not an extremist as in his, like, political leanings or anything. More like he wasn't like the top versus Trump being the bottom. Like, Obama was good, but he wasn't, like...
It's just astonishing to me that in the history books, there's going to be fucking tweets. Memes. From me and the president tweeting things out.
Yeah, it'll be insane.
It's different.
There was something like one day last week during the impeachment trial, he tweeted something like 90 times or something. It was
over 100. I saw SNL. They were talking about that.
In one day. It's fucking... Dude, do your job.
Yeah, like...
And then he goes on and claims that he's not watching the trial and he doesn't care about it and stuff. It's
Why
like
tweeting
that. Yeah, that's like that results in 100 tweets.
Be the president. Do what you're supposed to do. Don't fucking waste your time with this. This is a good representation of what's going on right now. So,
climate change.
It's changing and it's getting worse.
Getting faster.
Yeah.
And I'm tired. It's back to my parents, but it was really cold. Like,
your parents are killing the earth.
On Halloween, it was snowing, and they were like, well, we could really use that global warming, Al Gore. And I'm like, what? First off, this is like, just because it's not hot doesn't mean the planet's not getting
and it's
fucked,
also like it's not global warming, it's climate change. Like, the result of that happens to be hotter, warm temperatures, but that doesn't mean hotter year round.
I always say that, and I'm like, well, that doesn't climate change is different. It's just a broader... I don't know. It's hard.
It's an overall thing, not a specific day to day.
One thing, and just because it's like, if it's like there's more snow this year, that's not good. If it's colder longer, that's still not a good fucking thing. Yeah. There's like how many hurricanes and whatnot that we still have, and
they're getting worse
randomly in the middle of like the fall and the winter. Like, it's just stuff like that, and it's just
wildfires
are even worse. And it's just, I don't know. It's still like 90 degrees in California. At least like last month, it was still like 90 degrees in California. And it's stuff like that. That is just, it's bonkers. And I just don't understand why people are so against it. Like,
yeah, it's one of those things that's, it's like me being me, it's hard to wrap my head around people who are just outwardly denying stuff like that.
Yeah. And I even said it to my parents. I was like, well, you don't really care or like acknowledge it because it's not going to affect you because you'll be gone. And I hate saying that, but like,
I mean, yeah,
it's not gonna bug me when I'm dead.
It's a lot of people's mindset.
Yeah, and I don't like that one bit. It's like, if you're gonna have like kids or grandchildren and if you care about them, you should care about the world you're leaving for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even how they went off on that Greta girl, it's like,
Greta Thunberg.
Yeah, and they're so fucking scared of a little girl. And I don't.
Did you ever watch her speech?
No, not the whole thing. I heard bits and pieces on like NPR, but
great.
She deserves it.
I'll have to watch it.
Trump was obviously fucking butthurt about that.
He was
last year. Wasn't he last year's time the person of the year?
I think 2016. I think when he got elected.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think.
He was.
I could be wrong.
I remember that.
Yeah. I could be wrong, but it's like as soon as they made like the final 5, it's like I knew right away it was going to be her.
Yeah.
Just because like why wouldn't you choose her? And then, like, the moment it came out, he like, tweeted. And then, did you see the picture he retweeted of his head photoshopped on her body? It's like, that's weird, man. It's like, that's creepy.
He does weird,
he's a jokester.
There was one where...
a good sense of humor.
Yeah, because that was, like, 3 days after he retweeted him on Rocky Balboa's body. It's like, that's one thing. But photoshopping you on what is she, like, 16 or something? Like, a 16-year-old like girl...
13, 16.
I thought she was 16.
She's young.
Yeah, but regardless, that's weird, and it's very petty, strange. And it's like it shows how like how scared you are.
That's what I said at the beginning. I just what he puts out there in his rhetoric is just strictly, I tell it how it is. You can do whatever you want. Like, he provokes it, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, he makes it okay for people to get their tiki torches and fucking start racist riots of sorts.
I'm baffled by the fact that the stuff he does still surprises me. Like, just
Yeah.
like with the picture thing. It's like, if you told me last year he did that, I'd be like, oh, that's pretty crazy. But now it's like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
It's like, Jesus.
That's what I mean. I feel like we're just all accustomed to it now.
That's what the last decade has done to us.
Yeah, it's been a good. There's been some really highs and then some really lows, and I feel like he's low. So, but yeah, that was my point. It's just that there's a lot of good content out there right now. Like,
That's a very roundabout. It's like, that was my point.
My point was there's good content in that, real world stuff like him and stuff I have no control. Well, I have control, quote unquote, by voting, but like I don't have any control of like avoiding.
Yeah,
I dive into like stuff like movies, video games, and maybe that's the whole point of it. Maybe
maybe that's why there's so much
good content,
just to shield you from the harsh reality.
Maybe
that we're
that's
all
like
going
the
to
business's
die.
model is for all this shit to happen and be so bad. They're like, we need to pump out all this stuff because it sells.
Well, yeah, and also it's like it's super easy to like we all know a person who you can tell him about a very big like political or world event going on, and he's got absolute no clue what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But it's like you'll mention like a video game or something, and he'll know like right away like what you're talking about. It's like how it's like, but like not it's like it's understandable how that's possible just because like I don't have cable. So if I didn't actively search out the news, I wouldn't ever see it. Yeah. If I just went onto YouTube and just watched, like gaming channels or like comedy or, prank videos, whatever it is, it's like I'd have no clue what's going on. So it's easy to understand why there are more and more people that have no clue what's going on in the world.
Because they don't want to deal with it or
pay for cable.
Yeah, that too.
But even that, there's free stuff now. Like my TV comes with an app where I get free like ABC and NBC. Like it's not live. It's just a video loop of their news, but still it's
like
news.
A recording.
Well, yeah, but like of the day's stuff. Like it's not just.
And there's alternatives. I feel like with Hulu Live and stuff like that, it's a little bit cheaper than cable, and you just don't have to pay for all the bullshit. Because that's how I feel about cable. I don't want to buy cable to have all like these 200 plus channels that I won't even watch.
Yeah,
well, I'm gonna watch like 10.
That's why I got rid of Sling. Like, have you heard of that? Like, that's only like $15, but even then, I only watch like 1 or 2 channels.
Exactly.
I'm like, this is stupid. I'm like,
so. But
I was gonna say, well, going back to the decade thing, where we're just talking about, there's been a ton of streaming platforms that have
streaming
approached, and cable's dead officially.
Well,
marking my stamp on that.
Yeah, digital media has been a big thing.
Yeah,
which kind of sucks because I like owning movies, like actual physical, like for example, steelbooks. Steelbooks are fun to collect. Because I don't know, I get the pros and cons to both. Because I do have some digital games, just nice. I don't have to like fucking insert the disc. I know it sounds like lazy as shit, but like it's just convenient to. Yeah,
when you have the ability and opportunity to not do that, it's hard to do it.
Exactly. So, but yeah, with that, what are some things you can see going into the next decade, or do you hope happen? Like, the next 10 years.
I can see, unfortunately, as much as I hate it, I can see theaters going not completely away, like movie theaters, but definitely like going down. Because I can see, especially with Disney now, I can see them releasing movies strictly on their own platform.
Which some have. Like Lady and the Tramp, for example.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, not necessarily that would be a good theater movie, but it definitely is pointing towards the direction. And like with the ability to have more series, like with The Mandalorian, it's like, sure, they could have made that into a 2-hour movie, but they obviously didn't. And I can just see more stuff coming out like that, like with all the Marvel shows and all that.
Yeah.
I heard a rumor that I want to say they were like in talks of like buying a major like theater chain or something like that.
Like Cinemark or something like that.
Something along those lines. But it worked out to be like, hey, for all the other studios or theaters, you have to book all of our movies in advance. And if you don't book all of them, you get none of them.
Yeah.
And that would just kill.
That would murder it.
That would break down
especially
the
if it's
system.
Especially if it's Disney, because Disney has this dumb deal with theaters where the theater only gets like a fraction of the ticket price that compared to like other studios.
Well, I think especially with Star Wars, I know the Last Jedi, they had a certain if you're gonna show this movie, you had to show it in like this amount of theaters for this
so many
long.
so many screens a day or at a time.
I remember that.
Yeah, it's like there's deals like that, and if your theater only has 3 screens or 2 even, and you're required to show it on 50% of them, it's like that means for a month and a half all you're showing is Star Wars. So that's why a lot of small theaters don't have it.
Yeah.
It's like, which it sucks because I like going to the theater mainly for the sound, because even if you have a home sound system, you can't get nearly what it's like at the theater.
I like the experience of it. I like seeing.
I can do without the people.
Okay, that's the thing. people annoy the fuck out of me during certain things, but it is cool to see like reactions, like that moment when fucking, for example, Thor's hammer came up and it went into Cap's
Everyone
hand.
Cheered in my
I looked at Bundy and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, like
there's videos on YouTube, and it's just like the oh shit moments of the movie, and it's just like the audience reactions, just their sounds.
Yep, I've seen some of those.
Yeah, I do like stuff like that. Like the other people in the theater, their reactions, I do like that, and I have watched a couple of those videos. Like there was one from Infinity War when everyone started dusting away, people are like crying and that.
Yeah. I mean, for me, as far as like a theater experience goes, I mean, anytime you go out in public, you risk just interaction with another human being. It could be a shitty experience, just no matter what.
Mine is more the fact that's like some people, and this doesn't happen every time. It's just like sometimes you go to the theater and people don't seem to care that other people are there.
Yeah.
It's like I don't get that when I go to like the mall or something, because it's like that's different, because this I'm paying money strictly to watch this thing.
Sit here and watch this.
Yeah, it's
and
like
not do anything else.
Yeah, it's like if other people are talking or making noise, or it's like they bring their 2-year-old or something,
or the
it's like,
fucker that was on his phone having a full on loud ass conversation behind us. Like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah,
like,
and that goes back to one of like my biggest pet peeves is just when other people think they're the only person in the world.
Yeah.
It's like that's the biggest thing that bugs. Like if they drive like that, I just want to run them off the road.
I think there's like some smaller theater chains like the Alamo Draft House.
Yeah,
like I think they have ushers in there that will actually like, hey, you gotta get the fuck out of here.
I wish our theater had that.
Greatly, I would like definitely pay like an extra $2 for my movie ticket if there was like somebody who was like, hey, you gotta shut the fuck up or get the fuck out.
If the Marcus Theaters here did that, or they had people that cared.
You have to literally go out of the theater, bitch at them, and then they bring.
Yeah, that's what happened in Aquaman. There's this crazy bitch like maybe 6 rows in front, and luckily she was acting a fool during like one of the louder scenes, so it didn't really distract. But she got escorted out, and then we all got a free ticket.
Good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But I mean, like, if it would have been like something real quiet, like, I don't know what. But if it would have like greatly distracted from the movie, I would have been pissed.
Yeah, you could be like Paulo and he turning at the guy, flipping him off and telling him to shut the fuck up. And I was like, I wouldn't do that, but I'd be like passive aggressive and go tell on him. But that's that's just me. I don't know. With theaters, this is something that's already dying, but I think they're going to probably be obsolete in the next decade. Is malls.
Oh
yeah,
well,
malls,
as like a mall is
slowly like they're dying.
Yeah,
and it sucks because I actually like going to the mall. But for example, like North Park, there's a lot of open stores.
Well,
well, I mean, it's first and foremost online shopping.
Yeah,
and the fact
just
that
brick and mortar in general.
Yeah, the retail experience hasn't changed in like 20 or 30 years.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you can, like when Toys R Us went out of business, like they brought back like maybe a couple Toys R Us stores. They're a lot smaller and they're a lot more focused on experience.
Yeah.
If you can give people that experience that they can't get online or just like walking into a department store, then that's what brings people in.
And like Apple stores, it's like those aren't going away anytime soon, and you can easily buy their stuff online, but people still go there because of like the layout and like it's all clean and all that.
Tech people there and stuff.
Yeah,
I just feel like in general, like businesses, obviously for where we work, they're trying to be more like self-service. You take care of it. We're not gonna fucking help you.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get some modernization.
Yeah,
in. I mean, that's just the entire role of my job now is bringing the company, like tech-wise, up to speed with other, companies.
Yeah. You think we'll see a woman president this decade?
Maybe. I mean, that I don't know. Yeah. Not because, like, I don't think
not because she's a woman. She'll have to be like a good candidate.
Yeah, like I don't think Elizabeth Warren is gonna win, but I mean,
Yeah.
she's the best chance right now because Tulsi Gabbard's not going to do anything, and whoever else is
Sadly,
running.
it's probably going to be Joe Biden. I don't want it to be Joe Biden.
I mean, so
But I vote for whoever at this point.
I was listening this morning, and the poll currently, as it stands, is Joe Biden's in the lead above Bernie, but only by like 2 points. So it's still very close. The problem is they have vastly different demographics. Like Joe Biden's got all the old white people.
Yep.
Bernie's got all the young progressive people.
Yep.
And the minority vote currently. And then Buttigieg is third, or he's either third or fourth.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what demographic he has, but it was one that kind of like threw me off because
he's pretty white to my knowledge.
Yeah, but he may have been like the
young
like conservative. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Elizabeth Warren had.
I went to a Bernie rally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like recently, or the first time you ran.
It was this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was actually pretty cool. I really liked it. So.
Yeah. He seems like a good dude. But yeah.
Politics.
Yeah, more politics.
Yeah.
Back to the decade.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about like our favorite game yet.
Oh.
And that one's tough for me because there's been a bit.
I would have to say, like, experience-wise, like a game I couldn't put down. That doesn't mean it was like unnecessarily like extremely difficult or anything, but I felt like Odyssey was hands down my favorite experience in the last decade.
That's a good one.
It made me feel like I was playing my old GameCube. Everything about it I loved. It was beautiful. Like, I don't fucking need your Unreal Engine. You know what I mean? It doesn't need to be like the most perfect, like up-to-date 4K thing. It was perfect just the way it was.
Yeah.
The gameplay was fun. I love solving all the puzzles and stuff. It was the most enjoyable experience I've had in the decade for video game wise.
Yeah, I can give you that. I like that. I just checked my numbers the other day and I put over 60 hours into it. It was a very fun game.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's definitely way up there.
Yeah.
Like I was trying to think of my favorite before this, and they're just like I don't know if I can pin it down just because every game I've played that I've enjoyed, it's like for a different reason. Like I liked Super Mario Odyssey for the same reasons you said. It's like nostalgic, and it's just like kind of a casual game that's super, super fun and addicting. But then on the other hand, it's like I liked Spider-Man, the most recent one.
Spider-Man's up there. Yeah. I think Spider-Man was like just an overall great experience. I'm just trying to think because like there's been a lot of good games on the PlayStation 4 this gen, but there's not like been a lot of games I've been like, that's the best thing I've ever played. Like Last of Us was amazing. Last of Us was like a slow burn.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That was a very story heavy game. If I had to go story, I'd probably go Horizon Zero Dawn or God of War.
Yeah,
one of those two.
I need to beat those still. So
they're super fun.
I feel like there's been a lot of good multiplayer games. Personally.
So multiplayer. I was going to bring that up next. Multiplayer has made a huge resurgence in the last year.
Yes,
strictly with
Battle Royale.
Battle Royale,
yes.
Oh well,
yeah.
I'm okay with. Like Fortnite is cringy. Yes, I get it, but it's like spawned other.
Is that why everything copied it?
Well, there was stuff before that because
it copied PUBG.
Yeah, because Fortnite originally wasn't a battle royale. It was like a, I don't know if it was single player, but it was like totally a different game, like an actual game. And yeah, like PUBG was this little kind of semi-indie game that just made a huge impact on the game world.
Yep.
And then Fortnite took over that and then became the biggest game of all time.
It's just
and
nuts.
Then game after game after that decided they're going to do battle royale. I remember I went to GameStop and this guy, one of the workers there, was talking to me about Tomb Raider, and he's asked if I was going to pick it up. I'm like, yeah, maybe. He's like, well, you got to get soon, or you got to pre-order because there's battle royale. I'm like, why? I'm like, why does Tomb Raider have battle royale?
What?
Yeah,
That's so
like that's so weird.
Oh, Arkham City.
Did that have one?
No.
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
Sorry.
Jesus.
I should have. But like,
favorite game?
Like favorite game.
Yeah.
Arkham City is arguably one of my favorite.
I tried to play that with Colton. It was so hard.
Really?
I don't play that many video games, but like trying to explain it to him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like,
because I mean, he couldn't have been super old when that came out.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that came out.
I want to say 2013, but it might have been.
It
earlier.
was when we were at Iowa, so it was like 2011.
Okay. Skyrim came out 2011.
Skyrim.
I just remember 11.
Yeah, Skyrim. There's so many good games on the 360 that like gen was so good.
Yeah.
And there's I'm not shitting on this gen because I really like this gen a lot, and I think there's a lot of pretty games. But like when it comes to like memorable moments, like I had a hard time thinking about anything else besides the Switch. I feel like the Switch has had some bangers of games.
Would you call that the top console in your opinion of the generation or the decade?
I'd say so.
Yeah.
What are the
Really?
gens that came out this year?
It's only been out for like 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's PlayStation 4 has
big,
been
though.
out
The
since
PlayStation 4. I have
Well,
no idea. I didn't
13.
fuck with that shit at all.
I did. I got it right away. Some of the games were okay. Like I feel like there was a lot of good like sports games, but they were the same thing over and over again.
I
So
don't
they
know.
kind of like ride out a little
Sports
bit.
Like,
games.
But
yeah.
like no, it's like Rocket League.
Oh,
games
okay,
like that.
okay.
Like there's a lot of good esport games.
When was music games? Were those popular? In
That was
the
before
2010s?
early 2000s.
That was before,
Yeah.
like mid
Early
2000
2000s?
mid to late, like
I thought it would've
2005.
been-
PlayStation 2 is when Guitar Hero came out, and
And
then
then
it was
Rock
like the
Band
next
followed,
gen.
yeah.
It was like Rock Band.
Because that
It's
was
like
the thing.
360 and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So it was like later 2000s.
I thought it would have been
early
like
2010s.
2005 to 2015 in that 10-year.
I mean, there were probably games
Yeah.
coming out because Guitar Hero had a huge line of games. Like they started getting to band specific ones. Like was
Yeah.
it Aerosmith?
There's
Or
an Aerosmith.
Aerosmith.
Yeah.
There's the Beatles.
So it's like they had specific ones that really nobody bought.
Mhm.
I bought the Beatles one.
Well, yeah, but it's like
really no one bought.
like
Darshall
why,
bought it.
why they didn't just do DLC music packs
Yeah.
instead of a whole new
Money.
game. Like that's why people didn't do it, is because they don't want
Yeah.
to spend $60 for one band's music.
Exactly.
It's like
But if you think about it, the gens that came out this decade were the current ones: PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and the Switch.
yeah,
And I think the Xbox One's at the bottom.
yeah,
'cause
I would agree
it
with
didn't
that.
push any boundaries.
There's also the
indie
Vita.
gaming. Oh yeah.
I think 6 people bought.
Yeah. PlayStation 4 has all the games I like the good like first party games. And there's been a lot of good games on there, but like the games I remember are probably like I think last year like Spider-Man,
Mhm.
Odyssey, Breath of the Wild.
I'm trying to think what games came out like
Yeah, in
between
2012.
like yeah, because
I mean, it's easy to remember the last 3 years.
But
Yeah.
there was a dry spot where there wasn't a ton. There was a lot of Call of Duty.
there were
There
10.
still is Call of Duty, but like Call of Duty was like hyping it up, and then like Advanced Warfare kind of like took a shit on everything, and then it kind of went back to the drawing board. Which I think Call of Duty's on a good high right now. I think the new one's really really good.
Yeah, I haven't played it, but I've heard
It's
good things
good.
about it. I mean, compared to it's Call of Duty, so you know,
the other
Yeah.
Call
9.
of Duty, yeah,
like I don't think I've actually really played a Call of Duty. Fuck off.
yeah.
These ad fuck.
I have 3 different ad blockers on my computer.
Well, I have ad blocker, and it's one of those sites that's like, we notice you have ad blocker on. Will you allow
Get
ads?
the fuck out of here. Yeah.
I have special ad blockers that I can pause.
Christ.
That the system will know that might have my ad blocker on,
Yeah.
but it won't know that I have others on,
Oh.
so I can get past that. Like I don't watch
On this site.
like if I'm watching Hulu, I don't get any ads.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have the version of Hulu that doesn't have ads.
Mm.
I think.
You're a simpleton.
Yeah. My mom pays for it.
Oh, that did come out.
When did Portal 2 come out? Was that before 2010? I think so.
Yeah,
I know we
were
were in high school, but I don't remember where in high school we were.
Red Dead 1 came out in 2010.
Yeah.
And I love Red Dead 1. I forgot about that one.
Everyone-
GTA. I guess GTA.
Oh, GTA 5,
5
yeah.
is fantastic.
Yeah.
That's one of the better ones I
That
remember.
one, that fucking online, though, is scum of the earth.
Yeah.
That's who plays GTA 5 online. I hate people.
Oh, dang it. Not
Halo
the first
Reach.
one. The first one came out before. I was going to say BioShock, but that was 20 or 2000.
Oh, did you ever play
Wait.
Sleeping Dogs?
No, but I heard good
Dude,
things.
that was a great game.
Yeah.
I got it for free.
Go for free.
It was one of those like Xbox Gold Games of the Month thing like
Yeah.
that, and I downloaded it because it was free, and I started playing it, and it was over Christmas break. I was came back from college. I just like that's all I did that entire time.
You remember Prototype?
Yes.
Yeah, dude. Oh man, because I think I have Prototype 2 on Steam. I like the first one a lot better, but that one was that like mechanic of that game should be in a lot more, where it's like you get all these
Yeah.
powers and then you can just use them whenever.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, I forgot.
That was awesome.
This was like 360, but Halo Reach came out in 2010.
Yeah, I saw that. I like Halo 3 better, but Reach is still good.
I really like Reach. That was probably one. Is that the last Bungie one? I think it was until 343 or
I think it's reversed, isn't it? Didn't
Yeah.
343 have it before Bungie or
I don't remember.
I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
That's a whole confusion thing.
Yeah. So what would you say is your favorite of the decade?
Favorite game?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I'm looking at a list right now trying to see, but
Favorite movie? I thought about this.
Okay.
I was gonna say Into the Spider-Verse. I think that's like number 2, but I couldn't. Number 1 is I've seen this movie a shit ton of times and I fucking love it. Wreck-It Ralph owns my heart, and I don't know why.
The first one or second?
The first one.
I haven't seen that. I've seen the second one.
Ugh.
You've only seen the second one?
It was very confusing.
Oh my god.
It was fun
First
though.
one.
I liked
First
it.
one is just so good.
Oh,
Everything about it is
The
so
first
damn
one
good.
is very good compared to the second
I'll
one.
have to
Yeah.
watch it. Is it on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I'll watch it.
Gotta be.
You know what I watched over the weekend?
What?
Aladdin, the new one. I liked it.
Yeah, it
was
real
good. Like
Yeah.
the first chunk was a little hit and miss, but the moment Genie shows up, I was totally locked
Yeah,
in.
it's good.
That was great.
It made $1 billion.
Like, yeah, I liked it. It was
Yeah,
good.
and
It was
another
it was
one.
fun. it was one of those movies that
I have said this. I'm in the minority when this movie because I just don't care for it.
I thought it was like Will Smith knocked it out of the park with that one. Like he was hilarious.
Where'd you
in
watch it?
In my living room.
Like, is it on Disney Plus
the
or?
No, so funny story about that. I am part of the Disney movie club thing. I'm trying to get out of it, but they don't make it easy. It's like heroin.
Working with Disney's like working with a mafia.
God, it truly is.
You gonna take these fucking 3 copies of Aladdin, we'll break your fucking kneecaps.
You go online to cancel, and they're like, "You gotta call us between these hours." So
Between 1 and 3 a.m.
So yeah, no, the part of the club is they send you these movies monthly, whether you want them or not. You have to go on
Is
and
it
say,
a
"I
club
don't want
or
these."
is it a cult?
Well, I'm drinking the
Disney
Kool-Aid
movie
now.
cult.
So it's like they emailed me saying Aladdin's gonna come to your mailbox, and I just forgot to go online and cancel or whatever. Not only did they send me Aladdin, they sent me multiple copies of Aladdin and charged me for all of them.
Did you send him back?
Well, no, because like I got him, and I'm like I could send him back, but that's like a thing.
Yeah.
So like my sister,
But I'm a fucking lazy.
like my sister's got young kids, so
Yeah.
I like text her. I'm like, "Do you want these?" And she's like, "Okay." So I just like gifted them to her.
Here's
what
4
would you-
copies of Aladdin.
What would you say if each one of your children had their own copy of Aladdin?
Like, each individually watch it. Yeah. So I was at her house the other day, and I like mentioned something. I'm like, I kind of want to watch Aladdin. She's like,
Yeah.
hang on. She goes downstairs and gives me an unopened copy of Aladdin. So I'm like, cool. So that's how I watched it.
Oh, that's so fucking funny.
Bastards.
Yeah, it's funny.
But yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Aladdin's good.
Yeah, Wreck-It
It's
Ralph.
definitely one that I can watch again and not be upset about it.
I'll see. I'll watch it. I'll give it one more chance, but we'll see.
Back to games.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at a list of the top 100. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Excellent game.
I played it for 5 seconds and then
Oh
I
my
stopped
God.
because I think I was borrowing it from someone. Yeah, and then I.
It's
I never
like
got into it.
if you're whether you're into Assassin's Creed or not, like that'd be the game to play because it's in the Assassin's Creed family. It's got a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
But it's way more of like a pirate game than
I
anything
could not
else.
get an Assassin's Creed after the third one.
Oh well, that's because they turned to except for the fourth, they turned to garbage after that.
Yeah.
Well, not all of them. So the recent ones are totally different than the original because
Yeah.
they're open world, not MMO, RPG style.
Yeah.
They're not like just the standard cookie cutter Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah.
Three was just total trash. Don't ever play that one.
We'll see. I might give one a chance in the future, but I'm excited to see where gaming's gonna go. I know esports has been a huge thing this decade, like giant.
Companies are paying a lot of money to host
Yeah.
those tournaments.
It's bonkers. I like Overwatch a lot though, so I actually have seen watched a couple things. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Like, you look at these teams. This is fucking Pyro over here. He's a professional gamer. And I'm like, I don't know who the fuck that kid is. I don't care. But they make bonkers of money. So
I'm not super into the Overwatch and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've talked about it before. I'm not super into online multiplayer in the first place, but
Yeah.
that type of stuff I don't get. But what I do enjoy watching is speed runs of Super Mario 64,
Yep.
stuff where people are breaking the game to finish it in an hour.
Yeah, I've
It's
watched-
I'm really
yeah,
into
I've
that
seen
type of
before.
stuff. That
Yeah.
those are super fun. There's this one guy on Twitch I used to watch. I haven't watched him in years, but
If you do some sort of weird jump thing, you can go all the way up the
yeah,
stairs.
exactly. He would do
Yeah.
stuff like that, and he it got to the point where he was playing, and if like he noticed like there was a pixel difference, he would just reset the game, and it's like I'd have no clue like why he did, and then like 2 attempts later he'd explain, he's like, yeah, I reset it because like I went to jump and I missed the 3rd brick or something like that. It's like
they're crazy.
Jesus.
I just feel like this decade has just been, granted it sells, but like it's been strictly built on nostalgia. Everything, like the reboots, they're doing a lot of 70s, 80s kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like the Nintendo Classic, the Super Nintendo Classic. Let's play these old games. Let's reboot this old stuff. You know what I mean? It works, and I feel like there's a lot of it.
Part of that is
I'm
because
not complaining.
Yeah, part of that is because people like only really Nintendo can get away with that. Like if PlayStation or Sony came out and said, "Hey, we're putting a bunch of PlayStation 2 games on the PS4," like you'd go and buy specific ones, but you wouldn't be excited that there's this big library.
Well,
like Nintendo has.
Final Fantasy VII, that remake. When did that game come out? Like 1999, 2000.
Yeah, that one's pretty old.
And
the stupid thing about that is, isn't that one coming out in like parts? Like the first chunk of the remake only goes so far into the main game.
Not to my knowledge.
Oh, there is.
I bet it'll be multiple discs.
Well, no, like even not that. Like I don't remember. It may not be Final Fantasy, maybe another one. But there's this game coming out it's a reboot of a massive story game, and it's coming out in sections. Like so, the first one you're paying $60 for or whatever. It only goes partway through the story, and then in like 2020 or 2021, the next chunk will come out, and then it's like so people are going to be end up paying like $300 to play this game that they played 15 years ago. Yeah. That's kind of weird, but...
Speaking of, they're making a remake of Resident Evil 3.
Yep, saw that.
We should play that.
Yeah.
I want to get that.
Yeah, that one looks pretty good. So, yeah, talking again about where games are going. Oh, Tetris has also made a resurgence.
Oh, yeah, especially with the Tetris 99.
Yeah.
Again, Battle Royale.
Yep.
That's sweet.
If you told me that Tetris was going to have a Battle Royale, I would have laughed in your face.
But
there we are.
It's pretty cool.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
No, where I think games are going to go in the future, I think there's going to be a lot more VR than there already currently is, because more people are getting into it because it's becoming cheaper.
Yeah, I thought VR was going to take a huge step in like a couple years ago, but I feel like it's been because like when the PlayStation 4 came out, maybe like a year or two after they did like the VR stuff, and I don't feel like a lot of people played it as much. I know you do.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong. I know people that do play it.
It's part of that is because a lot of the games that were for it were made strictly for VR, so they were always really small, basically demos. Like they were just showing off what VR can do. But now more and more like AAA games are having VR capabilities. Like with Resident Evil, Bundy came over a couple weeks ago and played that.
Did you ever finish that?
No, not yet.
It's fun.
It's fun though. But like stuff like that, and like Ace Combat has VR mode, so it's like the more AAA titles are getting, the more people are going to be buying into it. And like PlayStation, I think without any sales, it's like $400, so it's not just something you can go buy at any point, but it's definitely cheaper than the $1,000 PC
Oculus
version.
Rift
But even that is like coming down in price as they get better at it. And
back to Disney, but Disney's implementing VR a lot. They have like their own little VR experiences at the parks and stuff, like not in the parks, but like at the downtown Disney and stuff like that. So every year they have something different. They have that Marvel one. I think they're coming out.
Are you talking VR or AR?
Is there a difference?
Yes. Yeah. So VR is like what I have, where you just put the helmet on and you're playing a game.
Yeah.
Augmented reality, AR, is something like
Jarvis.
Or like you hold up your phone and the camera's pointing at something and you see something on your screen.
No, it's VR. They put on the helmet and have a whole empty room.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But yeah, that's another company. I mean, they have space at Disney Springs, but yeah, it's called Void VR, I think. It looks kind of cool. I know there's something, it's in California somewhere, I'm sure, but it's like you're in this giant like empty warehouse basically room, and it's like you and 3 other people, and you have like a backpack and like a little gun, and it's like zombie VR, but you can see the other people with you.
Okay.
And I think that would probably be the peak VR experience currently. Because I mean, like what we did in your living room, that's cool and stuff, but it's like
that's like entry level.
Yeah. I mean, I can only imagine being in a room, and it's like everything looks like it. So.
Yeah. I'm hoping there's a upgrade in VR. I mean, I've been a VR fanboy since I started, and I'll continue to be that. But I don't think that's the future of gaming by any means. Like I don't think with it, by 2025, I don't think VR is going to be the standard where you go home, you go over to a friend's house to play a game, and you both put on helmets. I think there's a while till that happens. but I do think it's gonna. I think there's gonna be more strictly VR stuff coming rather than rather than it be a bonus to something.
When is it gonna become like for films? Like when are you going to be a character in the next Marvel or Star Wars, whatever, where it's just you and you're walking around the scene? Maybe not walking around the scene, but like
I could definitely see
you're in that space with the characters.
I could definitely see that be like an attraction at like a Disney World or like a Marvel World theme park. That would be kind of cool. As far as like if everyone goes to the theater and everyone puts a helmet on and has like a little joystick or something like that, I think that's a long ways away.
Yeah,
strict not because they can't do it technologically speaking. Yeah. I think just people are hesitant to adopt stuff like that. So I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Yeah,
because there are like even on PlayStation there are movies essentially that are that. Like I have one where it's the Apollo 11 moon landing, and you have the helmet on and you can like look around and stuff like that, but you can't really interact with anything. Right. So that's kind of like what you're talking about.
Yeah, technology obviously is going to make a huge leap. In the next couple of years. I'm intrigued to see. I can't
stuff we can't
even predict it. Yeah, it's gonna be out of nowhere.
Yeah, like you can say it's like, oh, we're gonna have like phones that are like just watches. They're not like smartwatches. They're like full functioning phones and all that. But even that's like that could be completely off the mark on what's actually gonna happen.
Yeah. So I'm
excited for bendable phones. I want one of those.
I'm intrigued.
I don't want to spend $1,300 on it, but I want one.
I don't need a. What entices you about a bendable phone?
Well,
wrap it on your penis.
Not so much the Razr, just because that just folds into a small phone. I don't really care about that. I was super excited about the Samsung one. It just they kind of biffed it. Like I really do want a phone that's like as thin as my phone currently, full front screen, and then I can open up into a big like screen, like a tablet or something. It's like I want something like that. The Samsung one was way too big, and the screen on the front was like half the size of the phone. So it's like I didn't want that. But I want something that I can like have my phone, whip it open, set it down, and have like a full screen on in front of me.
We will. I feel like that's becoming more popular. So
what I really want is like that Tony Stark phone where it just projects above it. That'd be badass.
Call me when they make that.
Yeah, we'll see. So perfect. Well, that was fun talking about this decade.
Yeah.
And now going forward, we'll talk about the new fucking decade.
Yeah. We'll talk about.
There's a lot of stuff coming out next year, like movies and video games and all that stuff.
Yeah, we'll talk about what we're excited about, but we should also talk about our New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
Whether you do them or not, you're gonna have one for this podcast.
Yep. I think we should. Yeah, we should stick to it. We should.
We'll keep track of our progress throughout the year.
Yeah. So perfect. Well, thanks for listening, guys. My name's Justin.
I'm Gavin.
And I'm Bundy.
We'll see you guys next week. Or see you next year. See you next decade.